released and works agency. All right, Chris, Brooke said that it is documented, the State Department's aware, Canada's divested, congressional lawmakers are aware, and this is your chance to respond.
Well, can I say first of all that the Centre for Near East Studies, or the centre run by a man called David Badin, is so discredited that when he gave a briefing in Congress, which I attended, no one attended. The man has no credibility. He has made accusations against UNRWA for years, which are completely unfounded. Let me just take out this from my ear because the sound is coming back. Can I say that what David Badin does is to go into schools, which are non-UNRWA schools, film and then present them as if they were UNRWA facilities. That's one of his favourite tricks. But can I make a couple more points? The same curriculum which Mr. Goldstein is telling us is anti-Semitic, is anti-Israel, is the very same curriculum that is taught by Israel in the schools it administers in East Jerusalem.
He's not going to be able to hear me, so we're going to have to stop him for just a second.
Israel is teaching in the schools it administers this curriculum, which you say is anti-Semitic and anti-Israel. And one last point. The period which saw the largest growth increase in UNRWA's funding was the Bush administration. So can I ask you to explain why, if we're so anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, why is it that it was the Bush administration, it was under the Bush administration, that we saw the largest increase in funding to UNRWA?
Okay, Chris, I'm glad to have your earpiece back in. You talked about that this is the same curriculum that they have in Israel. We've, of course, done some fact-checking there, and what we've learned is that what we found out is that each country, each host country, essentially puts together its own curriculum. The UN helps to facilitate that, and they provide some funding and some facilities. So I'm pretty sure that Israel is not teaching the exact same thing that they're teaching to Palestinian children. We've seen evidence they are not the same thing. So we have to start there. And if you want to discredit the one time you mentioned up front, we have to talk about the New York Times. You also disagree with the New York Times because this is some of their reporting. Do you also take issue with the New York Times reporting on this as well?
I've not read the article you're talking about, but any suggestion that Israel does not teach those self-same books in the schools in East Jerusalem is wrong. And I ask you, and I ask Ms. Goldstein, why is it that these books, which are apparently so anti-Semitic, so anti-Israel, that curriculum is the self-same curriculum that's taught by the Israeli Education Ministry in East Jerusalem? Please answer me that question. And by the way, when I asked for
the record, we're told that it is not.
They wouldn't let me.
Well, we like to give people equal time. Sometimes when it's this heated, people are going to talk over each other. So we want to make sure that each person has their right to say their piece.
But answer me that question, please.
About the textbook
question.
Okay, because what we're told is that Israel does not have the same curriculum, that every country has its own curriculum, that it is funded by the UN, and that each country makes its own decision about the curriculum.
I hear what you say. In East Jerusalem, the curriculum that we teach is exactly the same curriculum taught by Israel. But answer me my other question. If we're such an anti-Semitic, pro-terror, pro-right of return organization, why is it that the period which saw the largest increase of our funding was the Bush administration?
First of all,
come on, you're Fox News. You're in the Bush administration.
First of all, let's be respectful. And on this show, it is the host, usually Megan Kelly, me sitting in tonight, who asked the question, not the guest. So let me just say this. The funding has increased over the years. And with people bring this attention and documentation to the State Department and to lawmakers, there are then questions. If they didn't know about this before, maybe they weren't objecting. Now they are objecting. All right, Chris, you've had your time, so we're going to wrap it up right there.
It's so convincing. You really don't.
Chris, it's not my job to be convincing. You're the guest. It's not my job to be convincing. We're giving you both sides. You're the guest.
I'm asking that you come back with nothing.
Okay, well, putting facts on the table, and I have a lot of them here, is not nothing. We give our viewers facts. They decide. Chris, thank you for your time.
Will not be convinced.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Not my job to convince. All right, Brooke, you heard what he had to say. He says that this is the exact same curriculum on both sides. Is he right about that? Because our research shows no. He is convinced.
You know, it's funny that he doesn't deny the content. He only says it was
in Jerusalem. Correct. This is the curriculum that UNRWA uses both in Jerusalem and in Gaza and in the West Bank. You talk about discrediting someone. Chris Gunness has lied to the media repeatedly. Number one, he promoted Dr. Mads Gilbert as the contact for UNRWA in Gaza. Mads Gilbert is someone who has gone on record defending the moral right of Al-Qaeda to attack Americans on 9/11. Also, he does not deny that Awad al-Creed was the deputy headmaster at UNRWA's Rafa Prep School in Gaza. He was the rocket engineer. UNRWA is placing innocent Palestinian children in harm's way. They're doing it intentionally with U.S. taxpayer dollars. All right, Brooke, obviously, very strong opinion about sides. We're glad to have you both. Let you air it out, let you talk about it, let our viewers look at it and decide. Thank you both for your time. We appreciate it.